Another week, boys, and another TWAB. This week at Bungie, Hawkmoon, Next Gen, and the Dawning. Oh my. Okay, so it's been an action-packed week with updates to the game and news about the future. So let's just get into it. We started off on Tuesday with an early morning dev update on the state of rewards in the game. We wanted to share some of the plans to improve rewards, as well as a few other things coming up. The whole update is definitely worth a read, but I stole some bullet points. In Season 13, we will be adding 6 new legendary weapons to our ritual activities, 2 for strikes, gambit, and crucible. In addition to the weapons above, Nightfall strikes are getting 3 unique weapons. The Palindrome, the Swarm, and Shadow Price are all making their Destiny 2 debuts. If you're brave enough to take on Grandmaster Nightfalls, you'll also be able to earn Adept versions of these weapons. Transmog will be coming with Season 14. More details to come. You can also take a look at the work in progress mockups. Yeah, Transmog was supposed to be coming out with Beyond Light, but like a true transmog system is not really in the game. Moving on though, DDoS protection for Destiny 2 players on all consoles will be coming in Season 13. Also, the Vault of Glass raid returns in Year 4. Doesn't necessarily specify when. That's interesting. I'm thinking like, I don't know, what y'all think? March? April? Crossplay is also coming in 2021. And like we brought up the other day, Joe Blackburn didn't go into detail of it, but crossplay almost seems like it's probably going to be like an opt-in kind of thing. And maybe it's just going to begin as like a PvE crossplay. I'll be interested to know if they actually end up giving us crossplay for Crucible completely. 2 strikes, Fallen Saber, and Devil's Lair are also coming to Destiny 2 in Season 13. Legendary and Master Lost Sector rotation will be expanded to include the Lost Sectors on the Moon in Season 13, and there will also be 3 new exotic armor pieces to chase. Again, targeted loot. Now it's going to be tied to the Moon Lost Sectors. That very same day though, update 3.0.1 went live with several important fixes, as well as next generation enhancements for consoles, so you can experience the beauty of Destiny 2 with more frames and more FOV. We wrote up an article that covers these new enhancements in detail, as well as the ability to pick up bounties from the companion app and Return of the Prophecy dungeon. This week, we also saw the return of Hawkmoon. The highly sought after exotic hand cannon makes its debut into Destiny 2 with a reworked perk that no longer relies on RNG, but still packs a punch. Season Pass owners can now visit Spider to set off on the quest to claim their Hawkmoon. We've pretty much covered all this, guys. The only thing we have not covered this week is like the Iron Banner rewards, the scout rifle, as well as the hand cannon. We will be covering various roles of that this weekend, and I might just condense it into one review of both of those, as there are some interesting things about both of those weapons. But if you have not seen our Hawkmoon review, if you have not seen what next gen gameplay looks like, or if you're interested to know in more detail what Joe Blackburn had to say in regards to the future of Destiny 2 next year, down below in the description will be links to all those videos. But moving on, the Dawning. A very merry morning, we shared a peek at this year's Dawning event that kicks off next week. Dude, can y'all believe it? It's Christmas. My God. Or it's damn near Christmas, right? We're in the month of Christmas. If you're like me, you've already been celebrating Christmas though for like the past 30 days. My tree goes up November the 1st every year. Thanksgiving is actually like first Christmas, and then Christmas is Christmas or second Christmas. Now for my New Light players, this is the holiday event. Things get a little snowier at the tower, a little more festive, couple mistletoes. Yeah. Better watch it. Shax gets a little carried away on that eggnog. Now, Eva Levante is coming to town. She has new cookie recipes and new gifts for all good guardians, even if they did adopt darkness powers. But I digress. Check out our Dawning page for a quick look at what the event has to offer this year. The tower is going to be all dressed up again, and we're putting the Griswold touch on the decorations. Oh, I gotta say, wow, that actually does look good. Like, does that tree look sexier than normal? I don't remember the tree looking that good. Now, everyone knows the best gifts vaporize your enemies. Glacial Chasm is a new legendary fusion rifle being introduced during this event with random rolls available, so each one you open is special. Plus, Glacial Chasm is just fun to say. Try saying it without smiling. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Anyway, here's a preview of the weapon. Okay, for real though, whether you were smiling or not, just to let everybody know, this is like Aerontel 2.0. It's a high impact. It looks quite disgusting. So if you hate fusion rifles, you probably aren't smiling right now. But if you like fusion rifles, well, hell yeah. You know, fusion rifles really kind of like mess things up inside of Crucible, right? You got folks walking around with shotguns and snipers and other special weapons, and all of a sudden they get vooped out of nowhere. They don't really know how to react. Like, pull a Telesto out, use it inside of Crucible. People lose their mind. So I wouldn't mind another voop joining the meta. Hopefully it's going to be good though. It does have some pretty neat looking rolls. We'll be reviewing it next week. Now, as you're flying around delivering baked goods, you will need a new ship to spread cheer in style. Eva has a new exotic ship that you will be able to upgrade throughout the event to change its look. You'll be able to customize the engine streams, different spawn effects, and unlock new animated shader unique to the ship. Looky there, guys. Look at that thing. Oh, it's beautiful. Like a shooting star. If only we could manually fly it, right? Like, when is that gonna come, Bungie? We had it in Halo Reach. Now, Eva has also set up a fun new celebration for this year's dawning that involves even more gifts for you. As the community generates dawning spirit by completing activities, you'll be able to progress a special community pursuit with your cookie skills and then find new gifts waiting for you under the tree. The big glowy one, you can't miss it. We don't want to spoil the surprise, but you may find some upgrade materials in those gifts. Ooh, enhancement cores, fellas. Just what we wanted. There'll also be some fun stuff at Eververse stores as well. All of the new items added to the store will be available at some point for Bright Dust, with the exception of the Glee Barrage, as well as the Merrymaker weapon ornament and Happy Trails finisher, which will only be available for silver. Here's a preview of the few of the sparrows, ghost shells, and a ship that are sure to get you in the spirit. Ah, yeah, look at that. I love how Bungie puts these sparrows here, because like at a glance, when I see the sparrows like this, I'm like, oh, is it really happening? Is Sparrow Racing League returning? Nah, but look at this. We can get a ghost with a candle on it, yeah? Or a ghost that got hung up in a Christmas tree and got tangled up in some Christmas lights. Look at there. Look how cute and innocent these ghosts are. See, this is exactly why I'm Team Darkness now, all right? I can't take the light seriously anymore. You hear me? It's stuff like this. How the hell is the enemy supposed to take us seriously? Oh yeah, and another ship is also available. Now moving on. Super Smash Warlock Melee, shortly after launch, we put out a hotfix to reel in stasis a bit. When we made these changes, we wanted them to have as much efficacy as possible, and that meant us using broad strokes to cover a lot of ground. This led us to hit Penumbral's blast range harder than many players felt was necessary. Upon review and hearing the feedback, we felt while Penumbral's blast range needed to come in, there's room to push it back out and have it feel more consistent when hitting targets at range. Oh, here's a preview of patch notes coming in a hotfix next week. So the Penumbral Blast, which is the Stasis Warlock Melee, is getting its projectile range increased by 37%. Looky there. Also, the minimum distance to cast ranged melee has been reduced by 32%. This allows you to throw the ranged melee while you are closer to your targets. AKA, Warlocks, get ready to free some folks. This is wild, man. Look, I had a lot of Warlocks hating on me, man, for making the build that I did last week with Claws of Hamkara, and we showcased how nasty your melee actually is. And so many of you were concerned that the review that we had for that build would result in a nerf being handed out to Warlocks yet again. But looky here. Looky there. Y'all got a range buff and an ease of use buff, which means your melee is about to get a hell of a lot nastier. Now, some final things. Trials of Osiris is scheduled to return next Friday, December the 18th. Now, the reward schedule has been changed. During the first 4 weeks, the Flawless Chest will drop an Adept weapon. The 5th week will drop an armor piece, with subsequent weeks switching the rewards back and forth between Adept weapons and armor, as previously mentioned here. Adept weapon mods will also drop each week. So considering, guys, how much Trials has been pushed back, Bungie's trying to roll Adept weapons out to us as quickly as possible. And if we consider this, pretty much by the time everyone even gets their hands on some of these Adept weapons, then the PvE Adept weapons, Palindrome, Swarm, Shadow Price, those will begin to roll out with the next season coming, which I believe is coming end of January, February, am I right? Somewhere around that mark. So we're going to be in Adept heaven. The one thing that has not been answered yet for me is Adept weapon mods. Can I apply these to my PvE versions? That's the big one, and I'm assuming we will be able to, but we'll see. Moving on, there's been a number of issues in regards to PlayStation 4 players not able to access their friends list or online roster. This will be fixed December 14th in a hotfix. Also, the Xbox Series X and S has some freezing issues, notably whenever you actually try to sign out of your Xbox Live profile while still inside of Destiny 2. They recommend that you actually quit Destiny 2 first before you sign out. As far as Vesper of Radius goes, this is a Warlock exotic. It was disabled last Friday. Cosmos states right here, due to it being possible to cast a rift while falling off a ledge, which when combined with stasis could result in a quick lethal combo to opposing players inside of Crucible. Rift energy wasn't isn't being used, so it's possible to repeat again right after execution. This issue will be fixed on December 17th in a hotfix. Wow, that seems really specific, right? You have to be falling off of a ledge and then cast the rift? Okay. By the way, I do want to actually review a build with Vesper of Radius, especially with stasis. So we will be doing a build on that when the time comes and we actually have it back in our hands. Moving on to Spoils of Conquest. There's an issue where players that actually put their Spoils of Conquest currency inside of their vault would result in it disappearing. There is no fix for this. Just don't put it in the vault. Yay, bugs. There's also a number of very known issues that I'm not going to individually go through, but feel free to look at all of these and see which one might be affecting you. Outside of that, Cosmo leaves us with a final note. This is going to be the last TWAB of the year. Don't worry, we're not all going on a big hiatus at once. We will still be around. This is the time of the year where many of us like to take some time away from work to be recharged and enjoy the cold, wet darkness of the PNW at home with the fam. I mean, we were at home already, but now we're not talking to our computers all day. We've made sure that feedback is still flowing and that you have the latest info on ongoing issues and anything new that pops up. The Dawning isn't the only thing starting next week. We also have raid challenges going live for the Deepstone Crypt, so keep an eye out for that. It's been a wild year. It's almost hard to remember what it was like to be in the studio at this point. Depending on how everything shakes out, it would be nice to get back there sometimes next year. Until then, we'll keep plugging away from our offices, living rooms, garages, patios, and other random rooms around our homes. We still have a lot of work to do. We share some of our short-term plans with you this week, and there's a whole lot more coming in 2021 as well. See you next year, Cosmo. Fellas, it has been a hell of a year, and I know many of you guys, maybe you just subscribe to this channel just to get a TWAB update, but I'm truly grateful to share these little posts with you guys every single Thursday. Some of these TWABs were absolutely hyped, some not so much, but you guys been through them all with me, and for that, I'm truly thankful. Some final things before I let you go. Screenshots, baby. Oh my God. Oh, that is just sexy. Eva Levante looking prettier than ever. Oh, fellas, give it a few years. She'll start looking sexy to you. Y'all been wonderful, guys. Thank y'all so much for tuning in for these TWABs. We're wrapping it up. 2020. Goodbye. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.